Good day, everyone. Today we're going to be making an iconic and terrifying weapon that may or may not have actually been used in battle. We're going to be making the Morning Star Flail, aka spiky ball at the end of a chain. Dangerous for the receiver and user. Ow! This is a bad idea. Now off the bat, there's two ways that I can think to try to do this. One, trying to cast everything, the ball and spikes together. I'll make everything strong once it's cast because it's one piece, but it's going to be more difficult to cast to begin with, and if I need to finish anything, it's going to be harder to get around the spikes. Option two, casting the ball by itself and the spike separately, tapping and threading, and then screwing them in after the fact. I can see challenges with both methods. Now for the centerpiece, I'm going to be using these foam balls. Now for the spikes, if I just take a piece of sprue wax and carve it into a point, it kind of has a cool forged look. So I think we'll just start with making a few spikes. So there we go, a mix of foam and wax. Now I did this with two different types of foam, one a denser foam and one a very porous, fragile foam. This I believe will melt out better, but this will give a better surface finish. Now one issue I have to deal with, in some of the places where I put the wax, there's an indentation in the foam. One thing I don't want to have happen is have investment get locked up inside there, because if the investment goes in there, the cast is going to be permanently flawed. So I'm going to try to melt wax in each one of these to make sure there's no gaps. Alright, so I think all the gaps are filled. There's some wax streaks on there, but I think I'm going to distress the surface when it's all said and done. So those will blend in later. I've cast round things before. Now if you watched when I did the golf trophy, I had a heck of a time keeping the ball from shrinking. So for this, as the metal's cooling and pulling away from every side, I need to have a huge reservoir of metal so it can draw the molten metal into it so I don't get any shrinkage and misshapen castings. Now I was worried about the foam ball floating to the top of the investment when I poured it, so what I'm doing here is making a little hook to attach to the foam and the wax sprue tree, and that little hook will just fall right out when the wax melts away. Almost forgot, I have to vent all of these spikes. Alright, it's vented. Now we're ready for the investment. So normally I'll steam the wax out of the investment, but I wasn't sure how that would work with the foam, so I put the foam in boiling water, and I need a higher temperature than steam. At best, it just dimpled it. which might be an interesting texture if I ever sculpt a reptile. But I'm gonna have to use another method other than steaming to get that out there. I don't like a lot of wax to burn out in the kiln because it's not good for the elements, so I try to get as much of the wax out as I can before I put it in the kiln. I found a really thin layer of investment in between the foam ball and the sprue tree, so I'm assuming the foam floated just a little bit. And into the kiln for the rest of the burnout. So that's in the kiln melting out. This is a foam ball that I lit on fire last night, and that's the residue that's left over. So I'm hoping none of that gets left behind in what I'm burning out in the kiln. The handle here, I got a splitting maul handle, and I think that'll work pretty well. I'm gonna cut this part off and wrap this flat bar around it, rivet that to it. That's what's gonna hold the chain. That pour really didn't look good. The metal was cooling on contact, so I'm hoping that the flask was warm enough and the investment retained enough heat that it still cast properly. Well, that method kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. Most of the spikes are perfect, but at the top, they didn't vent out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of them are incomplete. And you can see at the top of the ball is this nasty pit. Round objects just seem to be a nightmare. The huge void here, and I don't know why. I think it's just metal shrinkage, but this one looks like it's about to crack off as it is. So it's not perfect, but there's always a way to fix it. So we're going to clean it up, do some problem solving, and I think we'll end up with a pretty cool piece. So we're going to leave it there. We've got a lot more to do to finish this up, so that'll be on the next episode. It'll give me a little time to think about how to fix this. Thanks for watching. As usual, your comments are always appreciated. Tell me how you would do this different, what you would do to fix it, and what you want to see me smash when it's done. Thanks for watching. Come on back for part 2. Take care. Bye-bye.